This is at 1 hour 40, we'll say 44 minutes. We're at the 1 hour 44 minute mark. Alright, so hello, this is Nuke Marine. I am presenting the suggested guide for Japanese literacy part 3, or course number 3. This is Remembering the Kanji Optimized, which are the 555 kanji from Kanji.Odyssey 2001.Kanji.Odyssey book series. This is lesson 3. In this case, well, no, let me go actually bring up, so this is lesson 3. These are let me present you the vocabulary we'll be learning. So, I'm sorry, not vocabulary, I'm sorry, this is the kanji we'll be learning in the next 30-40 minutes. And let us begin. We've so far up to this point, you've learned 30 kanji. Let's add another 15 under your belt. Alright, so let's go to preview. Visually, so Jay say visually mute the screen, that's a new one, yeah. Make the screen blank, yeah. Let's see, what are we at? 57, is that the first one? Let me make sure. That's the first kanji, I suppose. Yeah, okay, so that's all good to go. Alright, C. Alright, so we're going to have to go and let's learn a primitive real quick. Now, I've already taught you this primitive for the kanji for 4, but we're going to do it again. So what we're doing here is a primitive for peg leg and clubfoot. Now, what Hazig does, I'll show it to you real quick. He presents to it like this right here. Human legs, and which is fine. So which is different than animal legs. Which I thought peg leg and clubfoot made for a better thing, because you'll see these in various parts in other kanji as well. So so let's present that real quick. Peg leg and clubfoot. So peg leg is this right here, which is normally it's on the left side, and then we have the peg leg and the clubfoot. And the clubfoot itself you'll see on its own. The peg leg you'll see on its own in other kanji and whatnot. And you already saw it used in the kanji for 4, and you can also see it partially in the kanji for 9. But we'll be learning it in the kanji for C. Okay, so let's look at. So here we have is eyeball, or human eye, and this we have the human legs, or peg leg and clubfoot. And this is the kanji for C. Alright, so that's easy. So the eye goes walking around. That's traditionally what it is. The eye goes walking around when it sees stuff. And when it's used in other kanji and in other vocabulary words, it usually is a reference to see, but it can also mean hopes, chances, an opinion, or an idea, like you can to look at something. Something is visible. Alright, so you have some, again, similar to the word see. It has, again, various meanings, not just see. Alright, so we have eyeball, peg leg and clubfoot right there. To see, it's like an eyeball walking around on peg legs and clubfoots walking around. Alright, now when you use this is going to appear in other kanji. So when it appears in other kanji, what I usually like to think of is Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc., which is a big eyeball on legs. In this case, human legs, or peg leg and clubfoot, sure. But Mike Wazowski. Alright, so let's draw that. Let's draw it, get rid of that. So here we go. So this is what we've got. So we got the eyeball, and the clubfoot. Alright, so it's the eyeball, peg leg, eyeball, peg leg, clubfoot. And that's the kanji for see, to see something, or be visible, an idea or an opinion. Alright, cool. Next up, beginning. So here we have is the kanji for 2 and then human legs. So 2 and then peg leg and clubfoot. So in the beginning, in the Bible story of Genesis, in the beginning there were 2 people with 2 peg leg and clubfoots each. Okay, or something like that. 2 people each with 2 human legs each, or each with a peg leg and clubfoot. So 2 and peg. So it's beginning. Alrighty, let's do that. That's fairly simple. So we got the kanji for 2, then peg leg, clubfoot. Alright, so let's do this. 2, peg leg, clubfoot. beginning, beginning. You do see this in other kanji. I can't think of anything visually about it. Maybe you can think of Adam and Eve. So maybe a couple people with fig leaves on their crotches or whatnot. I don't know. That might help. No, no. But yeah. Right now, whenever I see that, I just think of beginning anyway. All right. Next up, defeat. All right. So, all right. Well, let me introduce something to you first. In fact, let's see what Hazig says about it. Does he mention that? So this is bound up right there. Also, if you... Alright, so here we go. Let's look right here. So this is what he's kind of teaching. Now, if you've done katakana, think of ku, or, yeah. So it kind of sort of looks like that. You might see it like this. You might see it like this with the little hook at the bottom. But yeah, bound up. It's a two-stroke. It's just two strokes. Yeah. So, yeah. So just a drop, then this thing right here onto the side, bound up. Now it could be tied up or tied up with seaweed, or you might even think of handcuffs. Could be a good visual, handcuffs. Something bound up, something that's restrained. All right. So let's look at this kanji. So we have restrained, SpongeBob, defeat. So defeat, something negative, to bear or assume responsibility. Makaseru or something. So bound and SpongeBob. Defeat is easy picture. Okay, so the way I was thinking of like the, again, he was in a cooking competition. SpongeBob was in a cooking competition with Neptune or something. He lost, so he was bound up and then forced to work with King Neptune for eternity or something. I don't know, something like that. Perhaps he was caught by plankton, like I was saying there, but bound up. So SpongeBob bound up in seaweed. Bound. All right, so let's write that kanji. Okay, so here we are. So there we are, bound up. SpongeBob. All right, so do bound, then do SpongeBob. Or you can do I, do bound, I, animal legs. And I'm not doing the proportions very good, but that's okay. But anyway, this is defeat, to be defeated. Bound up SpongeBob is defeated. Defeat. Bound up SpongeBob is defeat. Okay. Now here we have bound up again. But in this case, it's a reference to 10,000. So one and bound, or bound up. If you think of 10,000 maniacs, every one of the 10,000 maniacs needs to be bound in handcuffs. Or the 4 zeros looks like 2 handcuffs, right? Of 10,000. So yeah, 2 sets of handcuffs, sure. One bound up in 2 sets of handcuffs. Okay, whatever. Note that for this, the bound is backwards in that the food. So let's look at the stroke order real quick. Yeah, right there. Oh, actually, wrong stroke order. We're doing it for 10,000, right? So yeah, right there. So 1, 2, and 3. That's more like saber, but it's okay. That sometimes happens. So here we go. Let's write this up. All right. So let's write 10,000. So there's the 1, 10,000. So let's do 1, kind of like a saber. Boom. All right, and that's 10,000. What is that program you're using for kanji writing? Jay is asking. I'm using Smooth Draw, which is 4.0.5. It's a free program, and whatnot, and I'm using a very cheap pen pad for the writing as well. All right, so we got 1, and remember this is backwards in what you normally write for bound, for 10,000. That does happen a couple times in other kanji, but rarely. So you might want to think of a story to recall that. So yeah, bound is backwards. Good. All right, next, 10,000. 10,000. 1 bound up when 2. Yeah, good. 1 bound up. All right, bullseye. So here we have is. Okay, I have to teach something again. I'm going to teach which is called a bullseye. Let's see, is a ladle. All right, so here's what Hazig says on the matter. See if he mentions it or not. Yeah, right there. Oh, and He's treating that like it's a. In this case, I'm thinking of. Okay, it's an actual kanji. There you go. All right, but I'm not worried about being an actual kanji. Okay, so when you get to the point where you learn as an actual kanji, you're all. All right, so this is what we're looking here. Now, what I don't think of is like a soup ladle or a soup scoop or whatnot. Something that can bound up drops of water into one thing. So think of bound up. There's bound up. And then think of bound up with a drop. So yeah, think of a ladle which binds up a bunch of drops of waters into one bowl of soup or whatnot. So that's a ladle. Now, let's look at this kanji. So here we have is bullseye. Now this is what Hazik calls it, bullseye. Here are some various things. It means your mark, your objective, the target of what your intention is. It's also used as an adjective ending, but yeah, teki or something, but matomeru. Bullseye. So when you hear it with bullseye, it's that way because of Hazik's keyword. But here's a bit more mark, target, or objective. That's a much better understanding of what it means. Because when you start learning vocabulary word, that makes a lot more sense. Your aim, mokuteki. Let's draw this. Control Enter. Alrighty. So probably saw that. So on the left side, do white. Bound up. In fact, I forgot to read the story to you. So here's the story. White dove and ladle, or bound up and drop. So bullseye, said the old lady. When she saw the white dove eating her bread, she aimed her ladle and threw it at him. And boom, knocked the knocked the bird out with her ladle. There we go. Maybe she was hunting white doves. Who knows? All right, so there we go. And again, this is very simple. White, ladle, white, and this is bullseye, your aim, your intention. Bullseye. Boom. And I don't think you're going to see this in any other kanji, so don't worry about that. If you do, think of the comic book character Bullseye, sure, why not? I don't think he's appeared in Daredevil yet, the series. Except in like little cameos where, let's see. Alright, so guy saying, Anton, as a non-English speaker, I was at a loss with Bullseye's translation. Yeah. A few of the Kazig's choices are creative, but yeah, for someone who's a non-English speaker, yeah, even English speakers, can be confusing. Okay, so what we have here is 10i. Alright, here's something we haven't been taught before, the needle. Let's see what Hazing real quick. Let's see, I think. Yeah, right here, fish guts. Well, in this case, it was kind of like clubfoot, but in this case, he also likes to use needle. Depends on. I prefer to use clubfoot personally. It depends on how it's gone. Let's see, what is he doing? Yeah, that right there. So if it doesn't have a hook on it on the end, then it's a needle. Sure. Not a needle, a hook. A hook. Alright, so this is not the fish guts, but what he wanted to do was talk about something like this. And then there's stuff here. Okay? So it's like something like that he wants to think of as being a hook. Something that's hooking something and pulling it back. So a hook. If you see it like this with the little thing right there, then try to think clubfoot. You know, just keep the two separate. If it's without that little toe thing, yeah, it's just a hook. Alright, so let's look at what we've got here. So we have a needle, an eye, and then this hook. Alright, needle, eyeball, hook. Alright. So imagine someone saying, pull it out straight away. So in this case, the meaning of straight away means honesty, frankness. It could also mean fix or repair. You're going to see in other kanji it means, or not in other kanji, in other vocabulary words, to repair something, to fix something. Also be chokusetsu, like to be straightforward, honest. Straightforward, there we go. Straight away. Alright, so imagine the story is pull it out straight away. So when a needle is stuck in your eye, you grab the loop of the hook by a hook and then pull it out straight away. Okay? Yeah, it's kind of a graphic story, but there we go. Let's see. So here we are, straight away. And again, this could also mean to fix I began to think of it as being to repair or fix something as well. So fix something straight away. So straight away. So do the 10. Do the, actually it'd probably be more up here at the top. 10 I 10 I hook. Straight away. Straight away. Okay. Yeah, good story. These stories can get these stories can get graphic. I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I don't apologize. They need to be graphic. Okay, next up. Straight away, straight away. And again, mainly you're going to see it in either honesty, straightforwardness, also in repairing or fixing something. All right, tool. Yeah, this is going to learn this part of the primitive down here. One in animal legs. All right, so eyeball, and this right here at the bottom we're going to think of as a tool belt. So we'll learn that as part of with it. So before you use your tool, you should eye it over before you put it in your tool belt, or in maybe utility. Well, tool belt, maybe not utility belt. You could. There's another tool called utilize, which might be better for utility belt, but or to use utility belt. Okay, so here we go. All right, so we have tool. So we have the eye, got the needle. I'm sorry, wait, I've got this backwards. I'm doing truth. Okay, so we have eye, then tool belt. And this is for tool, goo. Now let's look at those words. Now, here are some words this is used for. So it's used in reference to tools or utensils, a means to do something, to possess something. And there's some other things. It's counter for suits. It's also, you're going to hear it for counter for sets of furniture. Sets of furniture, kagu or whatnot. Alright. Alright, so again, same as the story. You want to eye over your tool belt. So here's eye. Now, the story for tool belt. Now here's tool belt. Right there. So one little animal leg. So maybe maybe it's like a, it looks like a hobby horse, or you know, the saw horses or whatnot. So you put a little table on little animal legs to work with your tools or something. And there's your tool belt laid up on a table, a little animal legs. It could be that, whatever. But when you see this here, think tool belt. So there we go. So we have eye. So you're going to eye over your tool. So you take your tool up, look it over with your eye, and then put it in your tool belt. Alright, that's your tool. Tool. The whole thing is tool. Okay. Kanji ga suki desu, Jay says. Okay, yes, I like kanji as well. Tool. Alright, next kanji. True. Now, this is capitalized because I guess true, when you're putting true in spreadsheets, activates the logic functions of spreadsheets, so that's why it's not necessarily a good thing to do. This is not a very good word to use, but yeah, so that's the reason why it's sometimes capital or written in a weird way, or even not there at all. Okay, so here we have is needle and tool, or needle, eye, and tool belt. So needle, eyeball, tool belt. In ancient religions, the eye of the needle is the tool of truth. Now we just need to inject people in the eye with truth serum from a needle as a tool of truth. Okay, so anyway. So it means true. It could also be in reference to reality. And it's a Buddhist sect, but I've never seen a reference to the Buddhist sect. But anyway, reality. Okay, true, reality, Buddhist sect. Alrighty. And let's do this. Alright, so the eye of the needle is the tool of truth, or the needle is the tool of truth. So there that. Needle, eye, then tool. Wow, that is really ugly. Alright, so let's do needle. Do needle, eye. Like that. We can do the hook and now it becomes straight away, when, or do the tool belt and that becomes, oh yeah, actually, let's see. Eye and then tool belt. So needle, eye, tool belt. That's truth, truth, true, truth. truth or reality. Truth, reality. Okay, next up. Ah, good. This is a fun one. Okay, craft. Now. If you learned Hiragana Katakana, this is the I want to say eh eh. But right now, just think of craft, construction, building something major, koji, construction. All right. So what's good is it looks like an I-beam used to craft large buildings. Okay, and in kanji, just imagine a construction I-beam. All right, so let's write it. That's very simple, and you're going to see this in a few kanji as well. But okay, so there we go. So we have right there. All right, that's construction. So cool. Yep. There we go. I-beam. Very simple. Craft, construction, craft or construction, craft or construction. All right, next up. Okay. Now here we're going to do by one side. Let me teach you that first, then we'll come back to this kanji. Okay, let me delete that. All right, here we go. All right, so what we're going to be teaching. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple things. We're going to teach this, and we're going to teach this. Now, the only difference was direction of the stroke, the first stroke that I did. So how do I decide which stroke goes first? So it depends on what's in here, what pops down in here. So if in here the stroke order happens to go like that, across the first stroke order of the thing inside goes across from left to right, then your first stroke orders of the entire kanji is going to be this one, then followed by this. Now, on the opposite side, if your first thing is going down like that, if your first stroke is going down like that, then your first stroke in this kanji will be going down, then across. So it depends on knowing what's inside determines what you're going to be doing with this, with which stroke goes first. I don't know if that's going to be always the case. It just seems to be the case in the kanji which happen to use this by one side. Now, when I say by one side, imagine like someone has a little strap across her chest. Imagine a little strap across her chest and a little strap across her arm, and then let's say a gun holster or something, and it's strapped underneath their arm by their side, and they cross pull it out like a gun or a hidden like a concealed weapons carry. Yeah, it's concealed to the side or on their hip, on the sides of their hip or whatnot. So the gunslinger on the side of the hip or the water bottle on your side of your hip, something by your side, or you can even be a friend by your side, whatever. So anyway, by your side, by one's side. Now, what we have is this is the kanji for left, as in left or opposite of right, not left the opposite of state. This is left the opposite of right, and it just pretty much means that it means to the left. Now, Hazig adds some weird stuff about the left side is the devil's side, but let's just keep it simple. Imagine a construction worker. When you hear left, think that he's carrying something as he's carrying the material, the construction I-beam under his left arm because he's building. He's using tools with his right arm. But okay, so anyway, construction I-beam under his left arm. Now, look at that. Let's look at that stroke order. The stroke order for construction I-beam is from left to right, not top to bottom, but left to right. So that means the first stroke order is going to be this one. Now, let me go check real quick. Here's the stroke order. So you see right there, there's the first stroke order, here's the second one. Right here for right, which we learn later, is going down. So the first stroke order is going down. And same here for possess. The first stroke goes down in the contained kanji, so in the contained primitive, so that happens. Anyway, don't sweat it. Alright, but anyway, that's the... So what we are learning, left. So we're learning left. So large construction worker carries an I-beam on his left side. By one side, I-beam. Let's write that down. Okay, 4 people watching in the stream. So this is what we're doing. This is to the left. Hidari. Alright, so first stroke order, second stroke. I'm going to do the whole thing. And this is the stroke that helped determine. Well, I'm drawing this ugly. This is really bad, and I apologize. Oh boy. Okay, yeah. But anyway, there's left. To the left. To the left. Construction beam to your left. Or construction site to your left. Who knows? Whatever. But by your side. Okay, let's go to the right. Okay, yeah, so here's the story I did. So here's by one side and mouth. And it means to the right. So this is me to the right. Now, by one side mouth. A mouth under his right side. So remember in the movie The Shawshank Redemption, there was the old guy, I forgot his name and whatnot, and he kept he wanted a maggot from the main character, and he said he used the maggot to feed the mouth that was under his right side. It was on his right side, the little bird that was under his right side. Yeah. So yeah, mouth by his side on his right was just a little baby bird he was feeding. There you go. So mouth to the right. Okay, so let's do that. And again, that first stroke is going in a different way than. Alright, so first stroke is going to go down. Second stroke is going to go across. Third stroke down, across. Again, now it goes down. Alright, so left, right, left, right. Okay. There we go, left and right. And now you know the stroke order, so not that it matters. it helps a little bit if you have to like use you see a kanji, you want to write a kanji down. If you kind of know the stroke orders of these kanji, these simpler kanji that are used in other kanji, writing correctly just comes naturally. Just by a side effect of just learning it in this manner. It's not essential; it just happens. All right. Anton say dark and occult craft stories kind of fun. Yes. There you go. Yeah. Draw a little I-beam on your left side to summon the kanji devils or something. I don't know. Next, what do we got? Possession, to possess something. Okay, now here we're going to use turkey drumstick. Now this is not. Yeah, maybe moon. Who knows? Maybe under the light of the moon. Okay. So this kanji, possess, what it can also mean, to have something, to exist, aru, or exist for a non-animate object. Something happened, something occurred, or usually like to have something, hai, arimasu, or aru, possess. Yeah. By one side, turkey drumstick. A man's most important possession is food, which is the turkey drumstick he keeps by his side to eat later. We can also say is, okay, his possession under his moon. I'm trying to think moon, or maybe an astronaut is traveling on the moon, so he's putting all his possessions by his side because pockets are limited. Who knows? Yeah, that could work as well. Yeah, sure. Okay, so man's most important possession. Now again, the first stroke order is going down, then across, and then. And again, this doesn't really curve it. Really, it says actually just straight down. Okay, so let's. Oh, yeah, I screwed that up already. Okay, so we're gonna go down, across, and finish out with moon or turkey drumstick. All right, so offline. Am I showing up as offline? Shoot. I should be offline. Got plenty of time left in the stream. I've done more than 2-hour streams. Could someone else respond to me if, in fact, let me type it out. No, you're not. Okay. Am I showing as offline? Alright. Alright, let's see if they reply back to me. And you are online now. Okay, good. Good. Okay, but anyway, so that's possession, to possess something. Aru, well, yeah, aru. And to exist. So yeah, it's possession, existence, something happened. Okay, next up. Good. Now, we already know 7 is meant for cut. We gotta introduce this thing right here, dagger. So let's see what let's see here. Stroke orders. 12 we learned. So there we learned possession, craft, dagger, page 47. What are the pages off? Am I missing something? Okay, right here, or sword or dagger. Yeah, right there, the primitive form. In primitive form is used as dagger. Okay, sure. We'll go with that. Okay, so this is the kanji for cut. Now, some other meanings it has: to be cut off, or to be sharp, kireru. So to cut off something, or to turn off something, and to cut off, to be sharp, be able to cut something. All right, so it's the primitives are slice, or in case the sword slice from the Seven Samurai, and a dagger. Okay, so let's look at dagger real quick. Let me get rid of here. So here's dagger. Okay, so it's sort of like the bound, the little stroke for bound, and then the second stroke for bound, but and then there's a little. Now you might also see this dagger written like this. You might also notice this looks a lot like ri right there. But yeah, you'll see dagger written as a primitive, and then some other stuff's happening here. It's okay. So yeah, we also use that as sword or dagger as well. I think that usually uses more as sword though. Till it clicked at the okay. Yeah. So this is dagger. As a kanji itself, like katana, it's sword. So we've already seen is that we're seeing some primitives that are kanji in and of themselves. Bound or ladle, bound up drops, that's kana, and also seashell, SpongeBob is actually shellfish, and then this is dagger is actually sword. Okay, so now we have is 7 and sword. So slice, cut down in their glory. Now we see the 7 samurai sliced down at the end by daggers of the bad guys. Well, actually in the movies, like one guy was killed with the gun. And not all 7. I think only 4 of the 7 were killed in the movie. Spoiler alert. Alright, so let's do this. Sliced. Oh, let me make... And like they were saying, it also means to cut off for something or to be sharp. So there's the 7. 7, alright, and there's the dagger. Alright, so there's... Remember, again, 7, that the upper stroke is first, then the peg leg, and then the 7, then the 7. Alright, there we are. Kireru. Cut, or what is it? What do we call it? To cut, to slice. Alright, Jay is saying, ooh, some dude saying, ooh, or oh, and then Jay is saying, konnichiwa. Okay. Got a conversation going. Alright, let's see. Next up. Good. So here's that other version of... In fact, let me see. Yeah, see right. Yeah, that'll say right there. Where you'll see it stretched out. So yeah, what he's saying is like when it's in that manner, think of saber. Okay, that makes more sense. Sure. Alright. Alright, so now we have his SpongeBob SquarePants and his saber. And it's rule. Now, this rule is a little different. This doesn't mean to rule over something. Well, it could mean to rule over something, or the rule of law, to follow or base something upon, to model after. Kisoku is, yeah. Hosoku, kisoku. Yeah, we don't have kisoku in there. Okay. Hosoku. Yeah, that's okay. Rule of law. To follow, be based upon. So yeah, that rule. All right, not ruler, but rule. Rule of law. Okay, so there are. So here we have SpongeBob and Saber. So there are rules in this kitchen. Now, rules in this kitchen, Mr. Crab. SpongeBob wields his mighty spatula like a mighty saber to keep the people in line with his rules. So maybe the SpongeBob formula is against it. So okay. So we have SpongeBob SquarePants. Boom Boom, and his saber, his little spatula saber. Alright, so here's the stroke order. Do SpongeBob. Boom, boom. And then, like I said there, here's the saber. And it'll also be something here, saber. And there we go. So here's SpongeBob. And his saber. Boom. Okay, and that's rule. Keep the rules. Keep the rule in line. You're gonna have SpongeBob wielding a saber. Keep the employees in line. There we go. Rule. Next up. Okay, separate. Now this looks like bound up or coup, but again the stroke order is going to be similar to 10,000 in that the second stroke goes first, whatnot. But to separate. Separate, branch off, to divert. Now this means to keep things separate, to go in a different direction, or sometimes like tokubetsu, a specialty or extra. So it's not separate, it's separate. So it's not separate as in to divide, it's separate as in it's a different version. Branch off, diverge. There we go. Now, what do we have for the story? We have mouth, handcuffs. Now again, the handcuffs, like they mentioned, it's fu. It's the one side, then the downward stroke. To keep the hostages separate, have their mouths gagged, handcuffed, and guard them with a saber. There we go. So separate. Fairly visual story. So okay, so you have somebody. All right, so we have them. There's their mouth. They are bound up or handcuffed and guarded with the saber. Alright, so here's the stroke order. So do the mouth, and I'll do this in a separate one. So same as 10,000, but in this case mouth and... Alright, and then finally do the same thing, and kind of looks a little different, yeah, and then saber. Have their mouths handcuffed? Sure, why not? I probably wrote that wrong, who knows. Bound and gagged, sure. You can also have their mouths handcuffed, but you can say mouths bound and gagged, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can change these stories to your preferred. Like I said, you can create your own mem notes here. Like you can actually create your own. You don't have to go out in the memorize. You don't have to go off these. You can like copy it, paste, and make your own little variant or whatever. Doesn't matter. Is that the last one? Is there one more? Yep. Okay.